All right, let's talk about old Hondas versus the new Hondas and what maybe has changed somewhat. Some things that are better. Maybe you think one of these old ones are probably some of the best cars ever made. 96. I like the old 79 with the CVCC engine. Those were so cool because they actually had non-interference engines. Yeah, this old Bessie is so cool. This has got 125,000 miles on it. 96. My daughter's owned it for a while. She decided to buy a newer Honda. But for some reason, they always have the same sound to the starter. Listen. Anybody recognize this? That's the same sound that they had back since the 70s when I used to work on them back then. I know this engine's pretty dusty and dirty because my daughter's car, she doesn't get out and wash it. I always wash my engines off of mine. But one of the things I liked about Honda all the time is their ease of being able to work on. Even the newer ones, they're serviceable, simple. A lot of the parts have like this thing has like a wedge piece, and you can just kind of pull it and move it away, hold in by a little wedge. So they were made to work on for the mechanics versus some of the other cars. This car is made very simple and easy to work on, and it's very simple car and very well designed for mechanics. So I've always liked Hondas. I've liked them back since they were back in the 70s. And the issues the old cars had back in the 70s were the exhaust would plug up on the CVCC engines, and it would start running really bad. The exhaust manifold had an issue inside of it where the little baffle inside of it would fall out and then plug up the exhaust. And so many of them got off the road because of that one problem alone. And since then, I guess Honda's always resolved their issues. The other issues that they had back in this time is lack of maintenance. People would stop and not maintain their timing belt. And when you don't maintain the timing belt on this year, the old ones were non-interference engines. But on this year, on these mid-year ones in the 90s, a lot of the reason a lot of these are off the road is because somebody didn't change that timing belt on a maintenance interval. You know, I can't say that Honda's ever really gotten worse on their builds, on their cars. I think they probably have gotten better in a lot of respects. They kind of see the problems that they're having, and they seem to try and resolve them with their newer models, with respects to a lot of things, except for the new ones have CVT transmissions. I'm not really a big fan of CVTs. They might be efficient, they might work well. They might work well with a Honda, probably work better than the Toyota even, or even better, definitely better than Nissan. But you know, I'm just not a big fan. I don't like the way they drive. I don't like the way it feels, but that's kind of the way they're going now, which I'm not really that happy with. But one of the problems people had in these years is they would not maintain the time belt, and the time belt water pump run the same thing. And about every 80,000 miles or so, you're supposed to change that, and people would let it go and let it go and let it go. And finally the time belt would break, or the water pump would seize, and it would cause that to go, and then the valves would hit the pistons, and sometimes it would break the pistons, and sometimes it just bent the valves. But usually with such an expensive repair, the car got taken off the road. So a lot of them are in the graveyard because of that. But they were really not a bad car. I think these cars were really well designed. And this car here gets about 36 miles a gallon, you know, compared to some of the newer cars, and not even doing that well on the highway. And in the city, this one gets, you know, what, about 30, 28, 27, something like that, versus some of the new cars not doing near that well. My daughter ended up getting a CRV, and the CRV doesn't do near the mileage that this car does. So, you know, gas mileage for these older ones was a lot better. The power was a little bit weaker on this engine because of the automatic transmission, but, you know, with the stick shift, these really had pretty good power. and I think that's why they went to the CVT versus like Volkswagen went with the DSG to maintain their power and use the stick shift technology with valve body, and that's how they designed that transmission, which I think was actually pretty innovative compared to some of the other manufacturers going to CVT. I just think it was a cheaper way out. Maybe they're lighter weight, I'm not sure, but not really a big fan of them. But this year car, other than the timing belt problem, and the other issue that they had was, the other issue Honda's always had, and even still has today, is their valve guides tend to wear out kind of quick compared to some of the other models. When the valve guides start to leak, it would leak oil down into the cylinders, and then sometimes you would get white smoke from your exhaust, and that was another reason that some people took these off the road and stopped driving them. But people who love Hondas because, you know, they are easy to service. They made them to work on, and guys, young guys especially, like to work on these cars because they are designed for things to be pulled away and so you can get access, like I was showing you on that reservoir there. Like some of the wiring on some of the years, they have like a little hook like that. It comes apart, moves out of the way, and all of a sudden you have all this room. You can work on the car, you can maintain it. They designed it for maintaining it, and unfortunately a lot of people don't maintain them, and you know, that's why they ended up in the graveyard. So, but really, I don't know, what do you guys think on Hondas? The newer CRV she got is a pretty reliable car too. I think they're pretty well made. Like I said, the big downfall in it's definitely gas mileage. It's not like the old ones. One of the issues they resolved as well in the later models is they got rid of the timing belt. They went to a timing chain, and the timing chains seem to last pretty long, and you get 200-300,000 miles out of a timing chain on those if you maintain it with synthetic oil, and the engines can last quite a long time. So Honda's, in my opinion, one of the best designed cars. Honda, Toyota, and are two of the best design cars for serviceability and maintenance. You know, you're not going to get the mileage you get with some of the others. You can't get a TDI mileage out of a Honda like you do in a Jetta, but you certainly can do it with maintenance, and by doing your own maintenance you can save a lot of money. These are actually a really good car for a lot of people. Anyway, I thought I'd just mention this. I don't know if she's going to sell this car, keep it. While we had it, I wanted to make a little video on it because it's pretty cool, and you just don't see that many older ones anymore, especially in this good a shape. Alright, I'll talk to you next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.